So sometimes in my life, and I know most can relate to this, I tend to measure my salvation based on how religious I am. And this is a huge misinterpretation in the church today, and it's a huge problem because religion does not determine your salvation. So today, I'm going to give you 3 things to remember. All Christians should remember these. And the first one is, we are saved by grace alone. So what exactly does this mean? Ephesians 2:8-9 says, "For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God, not by works, so no one can boast." My point here is proven in just 2 simple verses. And what it's saying is that God's grace was enough to save us. No work that we can do as humans is good enough to make our way into heaven. Now that we know that let me give you an example of what grace is. So, grace is forgiveness even when someone does something terrible. So I'm going to give you an example. When you're with your girlfriend and you guys are getting McDonald's, all right? And she says she doesn't want fries. So you're like, okay, we won't get you fries. So then you go back to your house and you're going to eat your fries that you got, but your girlfriend didn't, and she says, hey, can I have some of your fries? You're going to, me personally, I would be like, what the heck, man? But I would forgive her, and I'd be like, yes, you can have a couple fries. But so that's kind of what grace is. You're giving even when you're not receiving. I'm not trying to call anyone out. So my second point is salvation is a gift from God. And what I mean by this is, like for your birthday or Christmas, for example, you wouldn't necessarily do anything to earn the gifts that you get. I know I don't. I probably would be on the naughty list every year. But so we don't really do much to earn the gifts that we receive. And it's kind of like this with God. Basically, He's giving us a free gift. He sent His Son to die for us, so that way we could go to heaven, because I'm sure heaven is a pretty lit place, so I'm glad that He did that. And it's a gift from God. There's no repayment. There's nothing we can do. We can go back to verse 9 of Ephesians chapter 2, where it says, not by works, so that no one can boast. And it's saying right there, we're not saved by the works that we do. And oftentimes as Christians, we start to do the works. And what I mean by that is maybe we make cookies for someone in school, or we're cleaning up our parents' house, or we help someone pick up their books at school, or something like that, and we're like, wow, I'm a good person. But that's not where your salvation comes from, and that's not where it should be centered. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. You can't earn God's salvation. Romans 3:23 says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." And what this is saying is, and as bad as it sounds, we all are failures. And, I mean, that hits you hard because it's like, well, geez, I'm a failure? What do I do now? What this verse is saying is it's giving further proof that we can't do anything to earn our salvation. And that just shows God's grace. And this leads me to my third point, which is religion is a practice. The Webster definition of religion is particular system of faith and worship. Now don't get me wrong, going to church is good. Tithing is good. Volunteering, doing community service or fellowship with fellow Christians is really good. We have to remember, religion also started many wars, and it still does to this day. So the problem with religion is it never gets to the core. It never gets to the heart. It never shows you the true love of God. See, religion was made by man so that way we could show the outsiders, I guess you could say, show the non-Christians, look, this is what Christianity is all about. But the problem with this is people start to put religion we start to put religion in the center of our lives beside God or before God. And we can't do this because religion, while it sounds great, it doesn't do anything for us. And we put it to the center of our lives where we're making God number two. And so I'm going to challenge you tonight in your faith, or not your faith, but in your seats, make a choice. Be a religious person or be a Christian. James chapter 1, verse 26 says, "Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless." To me, what this verse is saying is that there's a lot of people out there that use religion as a way to kind of boost their self-esteem, to kind of build themselves up, or maybe just make themselves look good. And the problem with this is that's not Christianity. It's actually very prideful. So tonight, in your seats, choose religianity or Christianity. To choose religion is to put the church first, put fellowship first, put tithing, even tithing, put that first, or maybe you're a deacon. To choose Christianity is to put Christ first. I just want to go back to Romans 3:23. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. God judges on his standards, not ours. So even if you save millions and millions of lives every year, you still won't make the cut. And that sucks because saving millions of lives is a great thing. And that's a blessing from God. But when you were 8, you told the lie about who broke the vase, so now you're not going to get to heaven. And that's kind of how we see God's grace. Even though we don't deserve to be in heaven with Christ, he gave his only son to die for us. And so, again, my challenge for you is to be a Christian all of the time. Don't just be a religious person on Sundays. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys, so thank you.